then when I got the photograph, I go home and I mess with it. So I put it on the computer and I start doing things to it until I get the feeling that I want from it. This painting comes from a photograph that I took in Scotland. I was in Scotland. An amazing house with a river at the bottom, and we used to walk at night around the grounds because it was so beautiful. And so I took the picture. The moment when this happened, it was a moment, my mother was dying, there was a lot of introspection, it was winter, and so it hit a chord. And I painted this painting over a few months. My paintings take lots of time to do, which is a little annoying. I'd like to be a bit quicker, but it is what it is. And it's a very odd painting because people have very different reactions to it. So my brother came to the opening and he said, yeah, that's the only one I really can't look at. And I was like, really, why? I mean, he'd been very ill, and he had like a near-death experience when he was, he'd been operated on, and anyway, he had a near-death, and he said, it reminds me of that. He said, I was like the light, I was going into this sort of tunnel of light, and it was, I've never seen it like that. But it was kind of interesting to hear. I actually really like this painting. I like looking at it. I don't feel bad when I look at it because I feel it has quite a lot of depth to it. It has, and it expresses that feeling. So all of my paintings are about being in nature. And I spent a lot of time, so I've always been a painter, but at one point when I had my child and I couldn't really, painting's really hard to do when you have a child, especially if you're me, because I paint a lot at night. I need that long flow, and so with a child, a baby, whatever, you can't do that. You have to wake up early and get them to school and stuff. So while I slowed down, while I was looking after my child, I started to get into yoga. And I went really far with the yoga thing, ending up doing practices, like having to wake up in the middle of the night to do a practice. I had this time thing. It was quite extreme. But that really gave me that sense of, well, really who I am. But like who everyone is, actually. It's not just who I am, it's who we all are. And I think we feel it in nature. And I think all of my paintings are wanting to bring you to that place, help you, sort of, it's about that place. It's about going beyond who you are and what you're seeing and just getting into that feeling. So, yeah. But they also always reflect where I am at the time. So this was, this had my mother in it. The other paintings here, there's one with, my partner has this wonderful orchard in Hassets near Brighton, and it's wild. We go there and we sort of stay. We've converted the barn to have it's like posh camping. We've got water now, we didn't have for a while, we've got no electricity and whatever, and I just love being there. And so the photograph started from a painting in the orchard, and there's my partner's blue shadow there. And yeah, it's again the thing about being in nature, at one with nature, losing yourself, the light. I'm always painting about light. And I love that thing that happens with the light when you see all colours of the rainbow. So with the sun, the starburst, there's all colours of the rainbow in that. Somehow, well, it's all part of the light. But in that one, I actually painted the lens flare as well. So the weird egg at the bottom came from the leg the lens flare, which you only get in photographs. So that was sort of bringing my practice so you could actually see what I'm doing. And
what
this
did you
one
think
we
when I
played
did
it.
this one, so
Yeah. Oh yes, this one. So I have a good friend who's also a photographer, and I wanted to do a painting, but we decided to go, this is actually the Serpentine. And I wanted that, she came with me and I took photographs of her, which I've done paintings from, and she took photographs of me. So this is obviously from one of her pictures of me, that's me. And yeah, someone was saying something about the hands being like that. So, and they thought there was a kind of grace to it, which is interesting because also the Serpentine, if you've ever been in it, is full of geese and geese poo. And it's a little bit, so that could be interpreted either way. But I love what happens in the water. I love all the patterns in the water. Water often becomes like peacock feathers. I like the patterns, the abstract patterns that happen. And I like this picture because of this and this. I thought the leopard print water and the leopard print bikini sort of went together. Also, as always, sort of, I also want you to feel like you're in nature. So I often have a figure in my paintings to sort of lure you in to relate to. So to bring you back to that experience of being in nature, losing yourself and going beyond, getting into, it's really a meditative state, I suppose, or your pure nature. I think nature, not only, we all feel good in nature, but not only is it, it's what rules us. That is who we are. So the rule of nature, whatever happens, we think we're in control, we think we're doing all this stuff, running around, but we're not. If nature decides this is not for you, there's no way it will work. So it's about that as well. Anyone?